Good evening and welcome to the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League, brought to you in partnership with GridFinder.com. I am Tim, back once again, and with me is my co-commentator, as always, Malk. How are you doing today?
You're right, Tim. I'm doing very well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine and ready to see some action through Eau Rouge, El Rouge, however you want to say it. I know it's actually Eau Rouge, but let's be real. I think that every one of us has butchered the pronunciation at one time or another. But as you were saying before, three wide up Eau Rouge?
If that ever happens, those three are absolute geniuses without crashing at all, and they keep it on track. That'll be the best ones, and that'll be the bestest moments, and that'll be a proper three in a bed moment with that.
So just waiting to arrive into the paddock for the sprint race. 8 laps for the sprint race and then 22 laps for the feature. We'll take this time to update you on our point standings. Of course, last week in Monaco saw Joe Hamster win the sprint race, but the feature race belonging to the one and only Keza, who now finds himself 4th in points. Of course, everybody trailing MDJ, who has 144 points. Bruce Lee Harding in 2nd with 117, and then 113 points belonging to Rudo, and of course Keza with 98, and then 95 points belonging to ARL. That is your top 5, and as we turn to the constructors' standings, well, it is much of the same, with MDJ and Keza leading the top spots with their KDJ Racing entry. That is 242 points to quick finishers, 230. That is Rudo and Bruce Lee Harding, and then Andrea Moda, Cameron Searle, and ARL 33, 182 points. That is your top 3. Now, Malk, let's give the viewers a bit of an update and a recap of what happened last week in Monaco. I heard that there were a little bit of fireworks.
There was a few fireworks and there was a few crashes galore. Obviously, the stewards had to have another look, but I think there's some that need to be sorted out again. But overall, it was just unlucky for some of the drivers that got caught in a few crashes. But overall, like I said, there's no barriers galore other than, well, I'm not saying there's barriers galore at Belgium, but there is some barriers to watch out for, especially coming up to the third sector as well. Smoke, he says, Tim, you're back. ARL, good evening to you, mate. He says hello. Spud says, hi, lads. How you doing, Spud? Hope you came well. ARL says, how are you guys? Good to see you again, Tim. They've missed you, Tim. They've absolutely missed you. And Keza says, evening, guys. Evening, Keza, you're winner of the Monaco Grand Prix. They've absolutely missed you last week, to be fair, Tim.
Well, I'm back this week, and, well, I'm here for the whole race because, well, I'm already here, and I don't want to miss Belgium. So don't worry, I'm here this week, but I do appreciate the sentiment.
Absolutely. And like I said, we're at the Belgian Grand Prix for the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel. And while we're doing that here, if you like what we've seen so far, even though we haven't started the race itself, we will about to start. We're just waiting for one. I think we're just waiting for one more driver to start off with, and we're about to start anyway. But if you like what we see so far, please make sure you like subscribe to the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel for all the live race itself. We're aiming for at least 10 likes tonight, guys. We're aiming for at least 10 likes. Will be a massive help to myself, Malk, and Tim in the commentators box, as well as the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel. And we're at the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa-Francorchamps. Can you say that in a posh way, though, Tim? No, you said Tom then. Tim.
I cannot. I'm not even
Says
sure what that
Spa.
means.
No, Spa-Francorchamps. Francorchamps. That's how you pronounce it.
Spa-Francorchamps. Is that right?
There we go.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Bish bash bosh. Bish bash bosh. Smoke says, I miss Tim all the time, with a wink of the face on that. And Spud says, glad to have you back, Tim. And yeah, this is going to be an absolute classic because, like I said, we're going to have 8 laps of the sprint as well as the 22 laps of the feature. Don't get me wrong, Tim. I have been to the track, real life. I absolutely love it to bits. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love it. But driving around it, I absolutely hate. And I don't know why. It's always that second sector that always takes me off. I'll always lose at least 2 seconds. Do you like this track as well?
Well, it's quite fun to watch. I mean, I'm going to be honest there, but I am with you, Malk. As far as driving around it, it is very difficult. Eau Rouge is satisfying when you get it right. When you don't, well, you're already in the wall by the time you realize it. It's so easy for the back end of the car to just slip out from under you going up through Eau Rouge, especially when you clip the curve wrong. You can just get a little bit of wheel spin, and then you are going around. But that's only one part of this very treacherous course because right as you get out of Eau Rouge, you've got that DRS zone, so you're going to see a lot of overtakes there. But what do
Yes.
you have at the end of the DRS zone? Well, you got a nice tight little corner where you're going to have a lot of heavy braking. Some drivers may be trying 3 wide overtakes, and, well, it's very rare to make it through there without a lot of contact.
Absolutely, and they'll go through the Kemmel Straight, and then at the end of that Kemmel Straight with that DRS zone, they'll go to Les Coombs down it. It feels like a roller coaster ride. To be fair to you, it feels like you're on an actual roller coaster. You're going up Eau Rouge, building up to that roller coaster, and then you're going down, down through the Spa as well. So that's what it feels like. To be fair, Spud says, "Do you think there will be rain at any time?" Kesa says, "100% mate. Belgium is famous for it." But Spud says, hope not. To be fair, I mean, every time when I've watched or raced around here, it's been about 50%, 50-50, shall we say, of Belgium guaranteed at least a wet conditions. But it's very tough. Very, very tough, especially when you go through Eau Rouge as well. I don't, I mean, I'm so glad I'm not racing tonight, but at the same time, I feel sorry for the drivers if it does rain tonight at Eau Rouge, especially because that's going to be the terror of it all.
Oh, yeah, and that's going to make that corner just that much worse. But also, Mal, think about if it does rain, how the downhill sections are going to play a part on these drivers because, you got to think you're just naturally carrying a lot more speed downhill. So even on a dry track, you have got to adjust your braking zone to what maybe it would normally be if it was a flat surface. But going downhill on a wet track, you lock up those tires, you're on for the ride.
Yeah, I mean, it's like driving around. It's just skidding around to try and control that car, but with the amount of pressure from every driver trying to get a decent amount of points and decent position, it is it's just insane. That's why these drivers, you got drivers from different divisions in from the top flight of tier 1 all the way down to tier 3, but anything could happen. Anything could happen in this race, and we might see. I'm hoping we might see a few more shocks along the way, but at the same time, it all depends on the weather conditions and depends on the driver ability of their cars at the minute.
Well, I think also one of the biggest questions is throughout this season, is anybody going to have anything for MDJ? Because at this moment, he is almost over a race ahead. More or less, I think it's about 26 points, so not quite a full race ahead when you factor in potential points that you can gain in the sprint and the feature. But even still, that is a sizable points margin that he has over the rest of the field, and anything can happen, and it can happen very quickly, as we've seen many times in the past. But when we look at MDJ statistics, it's not
Yeah.
so much that he is getting a lot of wins, so much as he's just very, very consistent. Because remember, Rudo actually won the first 2 races of this season, and
Oh
he's
God,
down in
yeah.
third.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's the pressure. It just takes a lot of inside. But at the same time, when you think about it, at the same time, you've got drivers who have been very lucky with some of it is from other people's mistakes. But at the same time, it was from the penalties itself. It could be different. It could be anything, to be fair. But overall, we are going to be about to start anyway, Tim, for the sprint. Now, as you mentioned about the points, normally it's about 26 points for the feature. That's fastest lap and the win. But then also you keep forgetting there's 8 points for the win. So it's the top 8 will guarantee points in the sprint. Remember that.
And we are about to find out who those top 8 are. Now, remember, there is no formation lap, so we will give these drivers just a moment to make sure that their setup is correct and any adjustments that they may be allowed to make, and then we will be ready for our 8-lap sprint.
Tim, I do apologise. Sorry to interrupt you there. I think we might have had a few issues with some of the cars. I think they're not in their cars. I think they're just being left due to technical difficulties. Hello, Gam. How you doing? Hope you came well. Hope you're having a fantastic evening on the, trying to look at the day, the 30th of March 2023. So hope you're having a fantastic evening and having some fantastic, hopefully we'll have some fantastic racing at the Belgian Grand Prix at the Spa-Francorchamps. I can't stop saying it. I love watching it, don't get me wrong, but I hate driving around the second sector. And I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is, to be fair. But let's see how it goes. We're just waiting for some of the drivers to start. But yeah, just wait and see how it goes, Tim. But it's good to have you back. That's what I mean. It's good to have you back after missing out on the Monaco Grand Prix. But Belgium, top 3 for sprint.
And just waiting to see if these drivers are going to be able to get back in their cars. But meanwhile, though, I am watching every single member of every single pit crew do a fantastic T-pose. Not sure if you're noticing that, Mal, but...
Oh my God. Oh my... there's a three... I'm not saying any more than that. 3 teapots. That's all I'm saying. 3 teapots. I bet you're thinking, what the hell's going on? If you're wondering, the pit crews, they're just standing, waiting to have a dance-off or something, but they all merged as 3 teapots.
Well, no, Malk, it's a T-pose. They are asserting their dominance. The problem is that every pit crew member from every team is standing out in their pit, asserting dominance, and only one can win the race. That's actually why we're having the race. That's why Formula One exists, right there, Malk. It's just because a lot of pit crew members just came together and said, we're the best, and you're like, you know what, let's get a car and let's just race and we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, and I think you just hit the nail on the head, to be fair. You just hit yourself a nail on the head.
Prove me wrong.
I can't guarantee. I can't guarantee anymore. This is fantastic. This is the Invictus Racing League, live and exclusive for you guys on the YouTube channel at the Belgian Grand Prix. Me and Tim were just waiting for the host to kick off, and it looks like we're about to start. As Tim says, there is no formation lap, and we are about to have a good, fantastic race. Tim, I'll let you do the honours.
And an honor it is each and every week. Now 10 seconds until we are able to start this sprint race. 8 laps for the sprint, 22 laps for the feature. Looking like a bit of a cloudy, foggy day. Perhaps rain, perhaps not. Well, I guess we'll have to just wait and see. It is Belgium after all, but here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights in the air, and no red lights. We are green for the sprint race. Mikey, Russman, Daryl, your top 3. Who's going to be leading over the get out of turn one? Mercedes is around, and now we got a Red Bull around 2. Carnage at Spa before they get to turn number 1, and it is likely going to be a safety car after that.
Speed Queen has got a 5-second penalty for severe collision with Joe Amstel. I don't know what happened there, but that was a bit of a nasty crash from the Red Bull and from the Mercedes. The Mercedes is still going, but the Red Bull is definitely out. It only will start himself out the back of the grid. But something must have happened. I don't know whether the back end is completely gone, but virtual safety car at the minute. Virtual safety car, and they're going down the Kemmel Straight, Tim.
Yeah, so, correction there that it is a virtual safety car. I could have swore that would have been a full safety car, Mac, but of course, an issue that we've had that unfortunately we cannot change. that we've had for a couple seasons now is we just don't have access to that information. We don't know if it's a virtual safety car or a safety car until we look on the map or wait and see the safety car out there. All the same, it is Rustman with a 1.7 second lead over Mikey. So you saw Mikey there is Rustman in the McLaren. We're just waiting to get the signal to go back green. So Ka has got up to the 3rd position, Daryl in 4th, Bruce Lee Harding in 5th. That is your top 5. Of course, Cameron Searle, Sir Spud, Nitro Gash, MDJ, and Joe Hamster, your top 10. Of course, there's a couple of penalties, as you mentioned, Malk, Speed Queen 80, and Joe Hamster. So there is an update on your penalties right there. 5 seconds for the both of them.
Here we go, and we're back live racing now. I'll get back to you in a minute, Smoke and Matty Rudd. We've got a battle going. It looks like the Mercedes. Oh my days, it's a Spud and Nitro Gas going side. And it looks like, oh my god, someone's gone way wide. It looks like MDJ's gone way wide at Belgian. But the Ferrari, oh my days! I don't know,
and
Spud
it
just
is absolute carnage as, who was that? Joe Hamster getting into the back of the Ferrari, and then it was just a chain reaction from there. So I think it's 2 Alpines now that are out of this race, or at least, oh, and Rudo is disqualified from the session for blocking the pit lane. Now, we do need to make a correction on that he was not intentionally trying to block the pit lane. He got caught up in that wreck. Unfortunately, that penalty is beyond our control.
Absolutely, and we've got a battle going to the bed down Kemal Strain. Ryan and Spud goes topside. Ryan in the AlphaTauri makes the move. Can Spud hold on in the... No, he won't. He will try and do everything he can. MDJ getting close to Nitro down Les Coons. And they come to the hairpin corner now. It looks like Russman is still holding on with that soft tyres. Kerr's holding on with those soft tyres as well. But remember, the softs can only last about 6 to 8 laps. Max. Mediums can go all the way to the end anyway, so they don't have to really...
Well, if the softs are lasting 6 to 8 laps, just maybe that is the sweet spot that they need. All the same, we'll see how it plays out for Rustman and for Ka. Mikey was starting to gain on Rustman a little bit through the first sector and the beginning of the second sector. Now you see him starting to drop back a little bit. Ka back there in 3rd place, and he is about 9/10 of a second behind Mikey. And, you know, right now they're all just riding, but Daryl really putting a lot of pressure on Ka. So we'll see if the Red Bull's going to be able to get by this Alfa Romeo. Almost in contact there, but they keep it clean. We stay green. And, oh, Alfa Romeo a little loose, so Daryl goes around the outside, side by side into the corner. It's going to be a bit of a race, a drag race maybe, down the front straightaway to see who gets this position. Daryl on the outside, Ka on the inside, and Daryl is able to take the position.
Absolutely, and while you're watching that, I'm just watching at the back of the grid to see if there's any battles galore. It looks like Spud getting close to ARL in 9th. TDG Nathan, a reserve driver last minute to join in. He's in 13th place and having a good battle with SFR Martin. DRS is now active but there will be a train galore. Here we go, they're going up there. Eau Rouge trying to hold that car as much as possible. And they're going down the straight. They're using all that slipstream for as long as they can. It looks like SFR Martin's getting close to Keza. Can't make the move just yet. Oh, Keza nearly went to the back of Sir Spud, but they're still going at it for between ARL and all the way down to 13th place with Nathan, and also Digitiger just joining into the play as well.
Yeah, this is just a big gaggle of cars, Malk, all trying to get into the top 10, and of course it's the sprint race, so you need to be in the top 8 for the points payout in this race. Of course, in the feature, as long as you finish, you will be awarded points. But in the sprint, it's only the top 8. So all these drivers trying to make up. And whoa, almost some contact between Keza and Sir Spud.
And Nathan's making the move. Nathan, 2 in the bed. We got a 2 in the bed moment. Come up to the end of the second sector. Nearly come up to the end of the second. Oof. Come up to nearly the end of the second sector. They're going down to the 3rd. And this, I tell you what, Keza and Sir Spud are having a great battle. This is great stuff. They come up to Belchamont now, and this is fantastic, Tim.
Yeah, this is very great to see, Malcolm. You know, Keza, Sir Spud, of course, they are veterans of this series. They've raced for a few seasons now. Wow, just a A little bit of a wiggle there from Keza, but he's able to hang on to it and through the final corner. Lap 4 of 8 now, so approximately halfway through this sprint race now for Keza and Sir Spud. Let's see what they're able to do, just trying to get the slipstream off of one another. And like you said, Mac, this is just a big DRS train as they're going to head up Eau Rouge once again. However, they do have a bit of a saving grace ahead of them, that being ARL is 2.9 seconds behind Ryan. So he is pretty much going to be a setting duck. So just maybe these drivers are going to be able to make up some positions.
Well, it looks like Nitrocash has got us ahead of Bruce Lee, and they're still battling out now. Still watching the back, but it looks like Spud and Kes having a great battle for 10th and 11th. But you just don't know which one to go. Yellow flag such as 1 and 2. It looks like a Junior has lost it just before Les Coombs, and now it's brought Cameron into play. Tim.
I'm still watching this battle with Sir Spud and Keza, but we are going to go ahead and switch back to the top 5 here for just a minute, because you've got Nitro Gash just pulling Bruce Lee Harding a little bit there, but Bruce Lee Harding trying to get close to this Mercedes, and we'll see how it's going to fare for them. Remember, it's lap 4 of 8, and the top 8 positions getting these points. So Bruce Lee Harding, he's okay. He's going to get a few points here. He doesn't need to make any unnecessary risks to get by Nitro Gash. All the same, that's a couple extra points ahead of him if he can find a way around him. But another thing that we're trying to monitor is the tires on Rustman, on Cuz car, is when and if they will give up the ghost 3 laps on the soft tires now. And so far they're holding strong, but it looks like Cuz under a lot of pressure from Nitro Gash now, so we could be seeing jostling around for position.
Absolutely, and there's a battle going between Bruce and MDJ for 6th and 7th. There's so many battles galore, you just don't know which one to pick. I will read the comments in a moment or two, but there's so many battles galore, you just can't keep your eyes off it at all. Nitrocast is getting close to Kerr for 4th, but the mediums should be kicking in now. The mediums should be the ones to kick in. And MDJ is going to go side by side now. Looks like Bruce has got no choice but to lose out on that position, and I think Nitrocast has made the move into 4th, Tim. So Nitrogash in that Mercedes is flying at the minute.
Yeah, Nitro Gash using DRS to get around Cuz, so that really does not bode well for Rustman, considering that Cuz, he was very fast early on those soft tires. Now we see him losing a position to Nitro Gash, and doesn't really seem to be able to keep up with him all that easily. Already half a second separating these two drivers. Of course, we'll see what happens when they come to the next DRS zone, but let's take a look at Daryl, because he is getting very much on the back of Rustman here, and we could be seeing a change for the lead late in this race. And Malk, you pretty much called it. You said the window for soft tires were 6 to 8 laps. Well, it's lap 5. We're going to be coming up on lap 6, so maybe this is something that these drivers need to take note of, and maybe they need to pit after 6 laps on these soft tires in the feature.
It may be, but it depends on the setups. It might be everything that they could do, but normally it's like between 6 and 8 laps, as long as they don't get into a battle, which Rustman's going into at the minute. I thought Darryl was just, he was saying just before the race that he keep getting the DNFs. Yeah, Smoke says, don't forget that Red Bull is OP, so apparently the Red Bull is going to be absolutely flying. Well, except for Tadelli, who lost out in the very first start. But here comes Darryl now, down the straight, comes to Eau Rouge. There's no two in the bed moments. Come on! We want some battles galore. Can Rustman hold on? He's got no ERS. Darryl going to go side side to the bed, come up to the end of the Camel straight, and makes the move perfectly. And looks like Nitrocash goes into 3rd. And, sorry, Tim. Mikey had to go wide.
My goodness, Malk, I see what you were watching now. Mikey off and into the grass, and Nitro Gash get the position from the Ferrari.
Absolutely. Good evening to Ellie. How you doing? Hope you came well. Yeah, sorry, Tim. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but there was a battle between Nitro Gash and Mikey just at the end of the Camel Straight. I don't know if there was any gap or lost, or Mikey was trying to avoid the contact of Nitro. But he had to go way wide to try and get himself back onto the track. But that might have to be looked at. I don't know whether that was a safe call to get himself back onto the track, but that was a bit of a quick reaction, should I say, Tim.
Well, sometimes you need quick reactions, especially when things go awry that quickly, Malk. Lap 6 of 8, though, going to be coming to 2 laps to go when we come back around to the front straightaway. And, well, look at Russman fading away from that Red Bull as those soft tires are starting to give up the ghost. Of course, mentioned that the Red Bull is very much overpowered compared to the McLaren. Now, if you're watching... Oh, what's going on now?
Sorry, Tim. Kerr just went wide at Belgian, and Ryan. I don't know whether Kerr just made an absolute mistake, and it brought Ryan into play. Got himself moved to 6. Many apologies, Tim.
Looking out the back of the Alpha Tauri, and my goodness, that Alfa Romeo really driving it into the corner deep. So
Definitely.
Ryan hanging on to P6, cut in 7th, and Bruce Lee Harding in 8th. So that's the final 3 positions that will be getting points in this sprint race. But look at Russman now, still hanging on strong, about 0.6 of a second behind Darrell, using the DRS, gaining slightly, but you really can see the deficit now.
Absolutely, and well, Smoke says he was getting close, and I think that was a few moments ago, but well, they're on the penultimate lap now, so they have to do something about it. But I think the tyres are going to be shot now. The tyres are going to be shot. MDJ goes ahead of Mikey. Well, 2 Mikeys, actually. 4th and 5th, respectively. Yellow flag set to 2. So they're trying to push on as much as possible. Looks like Nigel Gas has got a chance to make the move onto Russman! With the move! 2 in the bed! 2 in the bed, Mama! Come on! Come on, you want to move? Brilliant! Brilliant move there from Nitro. Watch out for Nitro. He is chasing the Red Bull. But he's definitely got some wings. Now.
Yeah, and Russman just struggling to keep up with Nitro Gas, trying desperately to stay within that DRS range. All he's got to do is hang on for one more lap, and he can get a top 3 starting position for the feature race. It's looking like, regardless, Russman should have a top 5 starting position, but he was going for it there for a minute on Nitro Gas, but could not make the move, had to back out of it. So final lap now. Let's see what happens. It's Darrell, Nitro Gas, and Russman.
Yeah, but look at MDJ and Mikey. They're getting close. They're getting close to that top 3. Oh! Mikey nearly went to the back of MDJ at La Source at the first corner, but they're going down the straight now. We're on the final lap now. Final lap of this race, of this sprint race. I keep saying final lap of this race. It is final, but this is mad.
Oh, and there goes MDJ around Russman. A fantastic exit out of Eau Rouge. My goodness, passed him like he was sitting still. MDJ did not even need the DRS.
He did not, but he's chasing Nitro Gas. He's chasing Nitro Gas for 2nd place. And Darrell is just, he was saying before the race, he was hoping that he doesn't want to get a crash or anything like that at all. But look at that. Oh my God, look at this. We've got the 2 Alfa Romeos going side by side at the hairpin corner. Bruce going onto the inside line. Kerr will drop down a few positions if he doesn't watch out. They're going for the corner with no name. Oh, Redlock. I do apologise, sorry, Redlock. But you know what I mean. You know. But yeah, they're going mad, to be fair. Oh, they're going wide. This is mad stuff, Tim.
And mad stuff indeed, as you're looking at Cud trying desperately to get by ARL for that final point in the sprint race, but he has got a train of cars behind him with the same idea. We'll go back to our top 3. It is Darrell, Nitro Gas, and MDJ. You're looking at MDJ right now, chasing Nitro Gas down, trying to get into the 2nd position, trying to pick up another handful of points, but it may be all for naught. All the same, he's going to have a good starting position for the race. Here is Darrell going to be winning this sprint race. P2 for Nitro Gas, and now MDJ in P3. But look at Mikey picking up a 10-second penalty for corner cutting. Russman finishes in 4th, just barely. Ryan in 5th.
They're going 3 to bed. Well, 2 to bed mower down the straight. That's insane. I just saw that, Tim. Mikey had, I don't know whether he just lost the braking point at the bus stop chicane, but that was just insane. Absolutely insane. And it's brought the other car out of play and brought the others into congested, into a good chance. But what a mad ending. We'll check the comments in a minute, but this is mad. Absolutely mad. What a race. What a start to the sprint.
So, Mount, that was Belgium. I was talking to you earlier, and I asked you, well, hey, you know, where are we today? And you're like, Belgium. Well, Malk, that was Belgium, but that was only 8 laps of Belgium. We're about to have 22 laps in. Well, let's just hope that they're as entertaining as that sprint race was. But here are your sprint race results and subsequently your starting lineup for the feature. Daryl in first with Nitrogash in second, and then MDJ in third. Fourth is Rustman. Ryan in fifth. Bruce Lee Harding in sixth. ARL in seventh. Martin in eighth. Ninth is Cuss or Spud in 10th. Nathan in 11th. 12th is Keza. Mikey in 13th. Cameron Searle in 14th. 15th is Ginger Tiger. JP in 16th. 17th is Speed Queen 80. Joe Hamster in 18th. 19th is Tadeli, and then Rudo in the 20th position.
What a way to kick off the sprint into the feature for the Belgian Grand Prix, and it's just insane. And well done to Darrell. Actually, he kept saying, "I'm gonna get a DNF. I'm gonna get a DNF. I guarantee to get a DNF." I even said 10,000 to 1 on for him to get a DNF, and I feel bad saying it because he's proved me wrong tonight at the moment. But again, that is sprint. Can he do it again in the feature, though, Tim? That's the big question.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see. But, reading the comments, okay, Smoke, fine. Oh, Rouge for Dillian, it's fine. But also going back to what you said, Malk, the corner with no name,
Yes.
I kind of like that. That just needs to stick. I don't want that corner to ever have a name, and then we can just start singing the song every time.
I'll tell you what I'll say, and then I'll let you do the singing afterwards. How about that? To be
That
fair,
works.
That works every time. I'm just reading some of the comments as well. Good evening to Matty. Rud, how you doing? Says, I've never ever noticed that the driver's names are above the pit boxes. Well, now you do, mate. You do now. Smoke says, why is there still no formation lap? I think there's still bugs with the formation lap, and the admins are confirmed that they just without any precautionary moments, that's why the formation lap is still off for now. Smoke earlier on says rename the bus stop to Carbon Fibre Corner. Absolutely, I 100% guarantee. I think Simon Rudd, that was Ruddo, who had that crash earlier on. He says love this game. Smoke, best F1 game of all time. He was encouraging Ginger Tiger and mentioned about the Red Bull being OP. Hello to Ellie, if I didn't mention it. Hello to Ellie, good evening to you. Russ closed the gap, he did, for a brief moment, then he lost the momentum with the softs. Yeah, sorry Smoke, I thought he was talking to me about the wrong corner names, but he was correcting Tim with Radlon. I call it All Rouge anyway, but that's just how it is. And Smoke says there's still time for Darrell to have a crash in the feature. I shouldn't laugh, but hopefully he'll prove us wrong. Well, definitely prove me wrong anyway. But yeah, guys, if you like what we've seen so far, please make sure you like and subscribe to the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel for all the live race itself. We're aiming for at least 10 likes tonight, guys. We're aiming for at least 10 likes. Will be a massive help, and I say again, it will be a massive help to myself, Malk, and to Tim for the commentary, as well as the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel. And the pit crew are still doing those 3 teapots, or 3 tea stand. Tea stand. Yeah, T. Letter T. That's all I'm going to say.
They are asserting their dominance.
They're eager to wait. Again, they're eager to wait to see when it's going to explode. T-pose. That's the one, T-pose. Absolutely. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. We've just done the sprint, and Darrell's done well, actually. Darrell's done well to get himself into first place, and he will start off in first. Nigel Gash also went through quite a few drivers with that Mercedes, so he's done better. Thank you, Smoke. Thank you. You're welcome. So yeah, it's all good. But who's your top 3? If you're in the chat, who's your top 3 to win the feature race? Who do you think it will be? Tim, who's your top 3 for this evening?
Well, I am going to go with MDJ, Russman, and Nitrogash.
Oh, okay. Ellie says JP winning. We'll have to wait and see if he does. You never know. You never know. I'm going to go with Nigel Gash. Yeah, Nigel Gash. You know what? I'm going to go for Daryl. And yeah, I'm going to go for Daryl and for MDJ as well.
Well, we're about to find out. It is 10 seconds till we can get this race underway. Remember, no formation lap, jumping straight into this 22-lap feature for the Belgian Grand Prix. And here we go, waiting on those lights, waiting to see those lights, actually. And there's the lights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights in the air. No red lights, and we are green for the Invictus Racing League's Realistic Performance League Belgian Grand Prix. And was there almost some contact in the back, but they keep it clean. We stay green. Daryl in first, Nitro Gash in second, MDJ still hanging on to third, but side by side, almost 3 wide. It is 3 wide, briefly behind them between Ryan, Bruce Lee Harding, and Russman. They correct it, straighten it out as they go up Eau Rouge and out of Verdillion, and Ryan in P4 trying to get up to MDJ through the gearbox, or past, trying to get to his gearbox and then past him. And look at that as Bruce Lee Harding and Russman fighting side by side.
There goes opposite moment. Bruce, you beauty. No, he's holding on. Russman's holding on for dear life. Contact, but look at SFR Marty. He's just like bish bash bosh moments now. Oh my gosh. I've lost my voice. This is mad. This is absolutely mad stuff. They're going to the corner with no name now. Crash.
Oh, and we have got carnage. My goodness, how many cars? 2 cars out. Sir Spud and Cub, what happened there, Malk?
There was a crash at the corner with no name. I think there was a contact just beforehand, and unfortunately, there's a few drivers who've just got the penalties now. But Kerr lost it, and I couldn't catch quickly enough to get back. But unfortunately, there was a crash between Kerr and Spud just lost it completely with Kerr getting crashed in the middle, and he had nowhere to go, unfortunately. So that's what's happened. That's mad, to be fair to.
Yeah, so Keza, no front wing on that car. Let's take a look at Cameron behind him. Looks like he got away unscathed. Speed Queen 80 looks like she might have picked up a little bit of damage there, or at least a time penalty at the very least. Rudo behind her, maybe some wing damage, hard to tell. I think it's okay. And Tedeli was really, all of these cars more or less had a front row seat to that, so how they were able to get through, I'm not sure. Of course, Sir Spud and Ka are the 2 drivers that are out of this race for sure. Ginger Tiger, let's see if there's any damage there. Looking like he's okay. And JP, no damage, or at least no visible damage, but all these drivers pulling into the pits, and so that tells me there might be some damage, or at the very least they lock their tires up and they're just trying to get a fresh set of Dr. Feelgood so that there's no flat spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I love how you say Dr. Feelgoods with those new tires. I don't know why, I just love it, to be fair. They go through Eau Rouge, well, watching Mikey in 10th, who's passing Eau Rouge. But it was an unfortunate crash. I'm hoping if Spud's in, I think he is in. Spud is absolutely fuming. He's absolutely fuming. He's saying that why can't people wait instead of dive bombing? Yeah, I do agree that it needs to be calmed down a bit. I know people are eager to try and get some points, but you can guarantee points wherever you finish anyway, so it's just not a matter of when or how. It's just you just keep that position. But if you got caught in it and you had nowhere to go, Spud, we do apologise for that. But there was a crash just ahead of you. I think it was one of the Haas cars. I think it was between someone and Kerr quickly. Gam, I do. Yeah. Well, there was, unfortunately for Speed Queen, she had a penalty in the first. In the sprint as well. She's got another penalty. I couldn't catch what she had for the penalty, but I'm hoping she's not getting caught out again, to be fair. Smoke says, was it a dive bomb or just misjudged braking distances? It was Keza and Kerr apparently, so Keza and Kerr had a bit of a moment at the corner with no name, Tim, so that's probably what's happened, you know. And I don't blame Spud for getting angry at all, because it's just not fair.
Yeah, and you know, it's that's one thing that is very important to, understand that Smoke said is, was it a dive bomb, or could it just have been a mistake, or was it someone misjudging their braking distance? Because in the heat of the moment, and I know that I'm definitely guilty of it more than anyone, you tend to want to place blame on someone because all you know is your race is ruined, your car is damaged, you can't win this thing now. But most of the time, when you go back and look, you find that there really was not any malicious intent, but all the same, there's a fine line, isn't there, between aggression and wrecking. It's the first lap, it's your best opportunity, arguably, to pick up a lot of positions before this race gets spread out, but at the same time, if you're too aggressive, then you make contact, and then cars go into walls, and people get mad.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, we've all had it. I'm not saying we've never had it before, but if you haven't had it, then you never existed, to be honest. And that's me being honest with that, because you've never experienced with the crashes or anything like that. But it is a really unfortunate unfortunate stuff for us to Spud. Sam says Joe and Ginger crash under safety car. There was, I think they have to. I don't know what's going on, but I think one of the cars is just having a bit of an unbalanced moment. So I think that might be IRL. But yeah, I think they had to go into the pits anyway. They had to go into the pits. Kerr has left the Belgian Grand Prix. Yes, Smoke is right. Speed Queen had a 5-second time penalty. I think that was served in the pits anyway. I do agree with you, Spud. Why was there? Why didn't it ghost? But it's very hard to explain, Spud. It's very hard to explain, because if the car gets planted in the middle, or like it's in front, like in the correct position, then it's very awkward, isn't it? To be fair.
So just waiting for the safety car to pull in. Looks like just about every driver has rejoined this queue. Should be going green. It's Daryl, MDJ, Nitro Gash. Your top three at the moment: Ryan, Bruce Lee Hardy, Martin, Russman, ARL, Nathan, and Mikey. Your top 10. And Sir Spud and Cud, the two drivers out after the unfortunate carnage on lap 1. And let's just hope that the safety car pulls in and that we have a little bit more of an orderly lap after that.
Absolutely. And Sam says, how many safety cars tonight? I reckon there'll be a few more. The way it's going at the minute, I reckon there'll be about another 2, I reckon. But that's me being over the top. Bless me, sorry. Bless me with that. I would expect the safety cars to go at this lap, but it would be a very late call actually, if it did. No, I think they'll do one more lap. Tim, and then we're on for the Belgian Grand Prix to carry on with this feature race.
Yeah, so one more lap under safety car, and well, that's a bit unfortunate, honestly, because everyone's lined up in a row. But this does give these drivers that didn't pit, an opportunity for these tires to cool down, which they really didn't have a lot of heat built up in them anyway after just half of a lap. But this could potentially extend that tire window just a little bit.
Just a tiny bit, to be fair. And they can go, and just as long as they manage it well and try and warm the tyres at the right moments, at the right time, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. The mediums will last over halfway anyway. The mediums will last at least about 12 to 13 laps, at least. Whereas the hards can go all the way to the end. I think it's about 19 laps it can do. But it just depends on if they can manage it well and they keep the consistency going as well. Spud says, sorry Mark, it was Joe Amson that hit Kurt. Oh, okay, no worries, Spud. Sam says, safety car laps around Spa are unfortunately long. Yeah, we do apologise, mate, from our point of view, because we can't give you much action as long as the safety car can speed it up, and hopefully Tadelli and Joe will bounce back.
Well,
no, that's alright, Spud.
We could commentate the safety car laps.
We could. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tim. Is it me or is it cloudy?
It is definitely cloudy. Of course, it was cloudy during the sprint race. We didn't see any drizzles. I'm on board with Daryl now. Not seeing any rainfall at the moment, but it looks a bit hazy.
I will be absolutely delighted if we do get a wet ending at Belgium, to be fair. I hope so anyway, because this is going to be an absolute beast. Darrell needs to get a good start against MDJ, because he will not be messing about in that Aston Martin. It's Belgium, it's always cloudy. It is cloudy, but I mean, I just thought a bit of seeing the rain itself. Kessler says he's got major side pod damage both sides. I will be slow. Sam says it's okay. I had to drive with 4 safety cars on tier 3 Monday. Oh dear, mate. Hopefully we won't see the repeat of that. But the safety cars is just about to go in, passing into the bus stop chicane, and we're coming up to Belchamot now. So Darrell needs to get a good start, Tim, and I'll let you do the honours.
On board with MDJ. Darrell will be the control car, gets to decide when we restart, as long as it's before the start-finish line. Well, that's when we're going, is now. Darrell, a great jump on MDJ, but will he be able to hold on to that advantage as they get out of this set of corners? Looking like it's good so far. Remember, Red Bull versus Aston Martin. I know Aston Martin's looked good this season, but this car is still very much underpowered compared to that Red Bull. All the same, we are green, lap 5 of 22. Already a bit of a yellow flag. Someone dropping down. JP.
Crash of the Mercedes of JP. So something must have happened at the last corner, just after the bus stop chicane. Looks like Tadeli and JP. I don't know if Joe Amster got caught in it as well, but those two drivers. Speed Queen? No. To the bed! To the bed! Oh, Rouge! Get in! Get in, you beauty! Oh, what a move! What a absolute beauty of a move at All Rouge!
Oh, side-by-side in contact. Nitro Gash and Ryan, they're still making contact. Ryan's able to take the spot away from Nitro Gash, but I don't think the Nitro Gash is going to be happy. Almost a 3-wide situation, I thought. Bruce Lee Harding was going to go on the inside. Now it's 2 cars, 2 lanes, 2 cars, 2x2, so 4 cars all together. And Ryan into P3, Nitro Gash down to P4 now. Bruce Lee Harding into 5th, Martin hanging on to 6th.
What a battle we're seeing, live exclusive for you guys. Fantastic stuff. Cameras go 7 to 14, Tiger drops down to 15th. Still watching the top half. Nigel Gash holding on, because Bruce and SFR Martin, they're oh my god, we had nearly 2 in a bed moment then. This is mad. This is absolutely mad, Tim.
Trying on board with Martin and see what kind of a run he's going to get on Bruce Lee Harding here, trying to use that slipstream to his advantage.
Crash, sorry Tim, ARL has crashed at, just after the 3rd, oh my god, we had a 2 in a bed moment. And Cameron and ARL go side-by-side moments, but I don't know if ARL's just got front wing damage. He's still going, Tim. Do apologise.
Yeah, watching ARL, and I'd say that he likely has got some damage. I don't see any visible front wing damage, but it's looking like he's really struggling to keep up with that Aston Martin of Cameron Searle. Almost at MDJ, but MDJ is in 2nd place, still trying to chase down Darrell, 0.6 of a second there, but they have checked out on the rest of the field. 3.7 seconds behind them is Ryan, who's trying to hold off Nitro Gash. Let's see if Nitro Gash is going to get the advantage on Ryan this time. Remember, they were actually having contact, and whoa, what happened to Darrell? Something happened, and MDJ was able to go around Darrell, or maybe he was just that much faster than the Red Bull. All the same, we've got a battle for the lead now.
MDJ has just made the move perfectly while he was watching that battle galore, Tim. It was fantastic stuff. The past Kemmel straight now, MDJ will be thinking what to do to pull away, because the Red Bull's got more ERS than the Aston Martin, so they need to push on as much as possible. Nitro Gash is getting close to Ryan. I will not be surprised if Nitro Gash gets himself into the top 3 this evening, but he is about 4 tenths behind Ryan, Tim.
Yeah, Ryan just trying to hang on for now. Of course, him and Nitro Gash having a bit of contact when he took that position away a lap ago. Now Nitro Gash going a little bit wide there, but hanging on to it. But I want to go back and talk about MDJ and Darrell, because now you see Darrell once again closing that gap 4 tenths of a second behind MDJ, but I'm very surprised at just how quick MDJ is in this Aston Martin, because he was 0.6 of a second entering behind Terrell, entering Eau Rouge, out of Redillion, and DRS or not, I didn't think that he was going to be able to get by him. All the same, here we see MDJ leading Daryl now. Of course, Daryl right on the gearbox of that Aston Martin, but to no surprise, a 1:48.9, fastest lap for MDJ.
At the moment, but it looks like Daryl's just going to have a good chance to make the move, and they're caught up to Eau Rouge. It looks like Ryan's.
And out of Redillion, we have...
Sorry, I thought Darryl was going to lose it at Eau Rouge then, Tim, but they're going down the Camel straight.
And now Nitro Gash making a move on Ryan side by side. DRS coming into play for the Mercedes, and he gets the job done. Ryan tries a crossover, can't do anything with it, has to fall back in line. Malk, I think there might be an issue with your microphone. Not sure if we're having any audio issues, but I was having trouble hearing you about half a lap ago. But we will resume with the battle between MDJ and Daryl. It is MDJ, Daryl, and Nitro Gash, your top three, of course, but it is these two that are the class of the field, 3.7 seconds ahead of Nitro Gash in third.
You all right, Tim? Back?
Yes.
Sorry, we do apologise. I think the mic was playing up then. But Russman made the move onto Bruce Lee, and they go side by side. But I tell you what, Nitro Gash had a great move to get past Ryan. So fantastic stuff. And yeah, I was just mentioning about MDJ having fantastic pace, and Daryl with more ERS compared to him a few moments ago. But Bruce and Russ are having a fantastic battle for 6, Tim.
Yeah, and Russman, of course, started the sprint race on the soft tires, and he led for quite a while, but then those tires just really fell off. So now he finds himself, about midway in the top 10 here in the 6th position, trying to get around Martin, but under a lot of pressure from Rudo, and actually overdrives that corner just a little bit. So that actually will allow Rudo to get a little bit quicker, but Rudo is on the hard tires now. Russman on the medium tires. At what point does the advantage shift to Rudo's favor?
As I said, the mediums can last, if it's fresh, mediums can last about 11 to 13 laps if you can play your cards right. But at the moment, there's 7 laps, and 8 laps already been done. Well, we're on the 8th lap, sorry. 8 laps already, but pressure mounts, and the hard tyres will be kicking in soon.
And Rudo making the move, almost some contact between him and Russman, but they get the job done. So Rudo moves into P6. I think that might have answered my question, Malk, is maybe now is when those hard tires are really starting to show what they're made of.
But if they were the same tyres that they started on the sprints, then the mediums will go. The mediums will go. Remember, they would have done 15 laps. Remember, with 8 laps already, and this is not the same as the sprint. They have done 8 laps now, and it'll be insane. Smoke says Daryl is just toying with MDJ, but hopefully Daryl does not make that silly mistake of leaving it too late for the move to happen, because MDJ will not mess about him.
Yeah, we'll go back and join MDJ and Daryl. Of course, there is Nitro Gash P3 as Ryan's trying to chase down that Mercedes, but to no avail. And here is the Red Bull of Daryl trying to chase down the Aston Martin of MDJ. At jeopardy, though, of losing that DRS. 0.8 of a second, though, looks like he's going to be okay. All I'm saying, he's going to have to be careful and keep up the pace.
Absolutely. Smoke says that they get fresh tyres. I do apologise, mate, with the feature. I thought it was carried on from the sprint, so I do apologise. So if they are, as you said, Smoke, with the fresh tyres, they can go all the way to probably lap 11 to lap 13. That'll be the crossover point, Tim.
Well, that's the crossover point, but it really does seem as though after about 7-8 laps, at least in Rudo's case, that his tires personally have been able to show some life, and in fact, he's getting by Martin now. So, yeah, Malk, I'd say after 7 laps is when the advantage shifts toward the hard tires. Of course, that advantage is going to flip around when Rudo ultimately is left out on old tires.
Sorry,
so what's going on, Malk?
Sorry, Tim. The hairpin corner, Russman and Bruce, they're going side-by-side mode. Oh, my God, this is mad. They're going to the corner with no name. 2 in the bed. Oh, my God, they got a 2 in the bed moment now. Come on. Come on, you want to move? You got to do it now. Don't crash now! Don't you... I can't say the words. Don't you dare crash now! Don't you dare make the move yet! Oh my god, Cameron and Bruce, they're going side miles now. It looks like Bruce has lost out by 2 positions. He could lose out a third to Nathan if he doesn't watch out! Oh my god, Tim, are you seeing this?
Oh, and the Haas gets to the wall!
Nathan's out! Nathan's out, we might have a safety car. We have got our second safety car of the evening, Tim.
My goodness, Malk, that was very treacherous, just a tight battle. And Nathan clipped the curb wrong, and it sent the Haas straight into the wall.
I don't know if you noticed, Tim, I don't know if there was any issues with the car, but it didn't look like there was nothing contacted at all. But it looks like Nathan just, I don't know if it was just an issue with the wheel itself or what, I don't know, but unfortunately for Nathan, the reserve driver who just joined in late will be out of the Invictus Racing League.
Yeah, it really is a shame for Nathan because it looked as though he had some decent pace, was having a great race, a great battle with those drivers, but ultimately he becomes our 3rd DNF, and now with this safety car, a lot of drivers pitting, Malk, almost the entire field making a pit stop.
Everyone pitted except for Tadelli and Mikey at the minute. Unless Joe and JP are going to carry on, I think they're going to the pits. They are going to the pits. So I think Tadelli and Mikey, they're the only ones who are carried on from a few races ago. So Mikey in the Ferrari holding on. Matty Rudd says Ruddo, yeah, Ruddo with the medium tyres, he's got a good chance to close the gap onto these hard tyres, Tim.
He does, but Malk, remember what I was talking about. When does the advantage shift from the medium tires to the hard tires? For the first 7 laps after this safety car, I think you're going to see Ruddo really perform well. Then I think you're going to start to see it level out and eventually start to see him fade. Ruddo, he's at a bit of a disadvantage, I think, in my opinion, because what was going to have to happen is that the drivers that were on the medium tires were going to have to pit, and then the drivers that started on the hard tires were going to be left out on older tires, and that was going to give the drivers who tried to undercut them the opportunity to catch up. Now everyone's on the same pit lap, just different compound tires. So I really think that it's boding well for those who are on the hards now.
Yeah, but Rudder had no choice. He went on the hards to start with, and then he got on to the mediums. So he's going to have to do something. He has to try and get ahead of the top 5 as quickly as Matty Rudd. Yeah, he went from last to first. Could be from last to first actually. Let me just double check. Yeah, from 20th all the way to first. If he plays his cards right, you're right, Matty Rudd. We are going to look at the positions. So Ruddo 14 positions already. Mikey 12 positions, but he still has to pit, and he is pitting now. That is a disadvantage for him because he's going to lose out so much. He might be going all the way back to the back of the grid for Mikey, but Ruddo has got an enormous chance. But I do agree with Smoke. It says end of the stint is going to be struggle. This is helping a bit. This is kind of helping a bit with the safety car and everyone's pitting again. It's kind of helping for an extra lap at least. But when you're in that struggle of the battles, you just can't afford to mess up. And at this stage, at the minute, if Rudder gets a good chance to close the gap onto Riot and Nitrogash at least for third, it'll be very difficult to catch up to Darryl and MDJ because they'll be flying anyway. They'll be flying away. But that's just how I see it.
Well, Mount, look at it this way. You told me that the medium tires, under green-black conditions, you're probably going to see them pit after about 11 laps?
I would say about between 11 and 13, if they've got good tyre management. I'm saying if they've got good tyre management. If they do worse, if they've got a worse setup, it will be less. It will be less. But when that will be, I don't know. Smoke says, I wanted to rain to really throw a spanner in the works. Well, that's why I asked earlier. Like, I know Belgium's got clouds anyway with the dark clouds, but I thought I noticed there was a bit of rain earlier on, but we've not heard anything from the weather crew or anything like that, so we're just assuming that we're going to have a dry race, Tim.
Yeah, it really is looking like a dry race, but all the same, it is Belgium, and it's at least thrown us for a loop, right? It's kind of bamboozled us. Made us think that it's going to rain when it's not.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just teasing us, Tim. I think it's just teasing us to say when is it going to happen. I reckon the safety car will come in on this lap, Tim. I reckon the safety car will come in on this lap. It will be, and I tell you what, Tim, MDJ is in first place, and he needs to bunch up to the cars, Tim.
And we saw what kind of a start that Daryl was able to get on MDJ. Well, maybe MDJ had his notebook out and was writing some things down, because he's going to have to take a play out of Daryl's book if he is going to get the same advantage on that start. Remember, MDJ, he is the control car, so he gets to decide when we restart as long as before the start-finish line.
Absolutely, and they're coming to Belchemont now. And here we go. Mike, MDJ needs to do something what Daryl did. I reckon he'll be going a little bit later.
Yeah, and Daryl's really impatient. You saw how close he got, but there you go. MDJ motoring away, but did not get the jump that Daryl was able to get last time. But out of the corner, Daryl did not have the best of lines, actually. I think he actually had to get out of the throttle a little bit as he ran over that curb. So could not get the best run on MDJ, but they're nice and even through turn one, nose to tail, with Ryan just behind them, 7/10 of a second between them. Ryan somewhat in a land of his own. When you look back, though, you see Nitro Gash and a train of cars behind him. Rudo, Russman, Martin, Cameron, Searle, and we're going to have to keep an eye on that Alpine of Rudo.
Rudo coming up to the Camel straight now. He might have a chance to make the move on to Nitro Gash. He's going to the inside line now. Should make the move. Be a bit of a push, but Nitro Gash is holding on. Nitro Gash has got the inside line, but Rudo's holding on. He's got a great exit and comes to Les Coombs now. And what a move, Tim. What a move. But can the McLaren and Russman make the move? Just holding on.
Russman's in the grass. Russman is in the grass. Something's happened there. Does he have wing damage now? No wing damage that I can see, but Russman, he was in the grass and mouth. You know, when they started that set of corners, I saw him clip the grass just a little bit. He was able to hang on to it, but apparently the second time, not as lucky.
No, I think he was trying to avoid the contact between himself and Nitro Gash, but they'll have to be looked at if there was any contact at that point. But here we go. Can Daryl make the move on to MDJ back in first place? Joe Amster's getting close onto, well, I say getting close, got herself ahead of Speed Queen in 11th. Digitiger drops down. What happened to Digitiger actually? I don't know whether he hit the wall, but he's spun out. But here we go. Daryl's trying to put the pressure on with the DRS. And cannot make the move. Coming to the start finish line straight. MDJ is using every experience that he can to hold on. For the Red Bull, hopefully he'll get some wings past Eau Rouge.
On board with Daryl, we'll see what he's able to do. But remember just how quick MDJ was through this section earlier on in this race. We'll see if it plays out for him while he's got the clean air. But remember, Daryl will have the benefit of the DRS. Well, when it's activated anyway.
Yeah, I smoke spotted it. I do apologise. It's just, I'm eager to see the moves happening. That's why. So cheers for that, Smoke. I owe you big time with the odds as well.
Well, don't feel bad, Matt, because I'm bad at math, and my count was wrong too.
Oh, mate. Fast Supper says, don't like the rain so much from yesterday. So apparently there was massive rain conditions at Tier 1, the top flight division of the Invictus Racing League, on the YouTube channel, line exclusive. Smoke says you're getting too excited. I know, because we want to see another explosive moment at the Belgian Grand Prix, and I feel like Rudo is going to be that next explosive moment, Tim.
Well, it's going to be an explosive moment, at least in the early going here, because he's already on the gearbox of Ryan, and he is on pace to catch up to these leaders and really fight with them. But if I was Rudo, here's what I would do. You see how MDJ and Daryl, they've pretty much been glued to each other's gearbox this entire time. Push hard, get by Ryan, and then when you catch up to MDJ, when you catch up to Daryl, just ride behind them, conserve your tires, because those medium tires are going to hate you at the end of this race.
Absolutely, but Rudo needs to make this move done and quick, because as I said, the tyre wear will not be long left for him to hold on, because he'll hopefully hope for another safety car to get the softs. Oh, can you imagine we have a soft sprint like near the end? That'll be even more explosive moments. And Rudo's got the chance to make the move on the inside line. I tell you what, bish bash bosh, moves up to 30.
And that was just the perfect moment for Rudo to get that move done on Ryan. He was able to use the slipstream to get a little bit closer to the cars ahead of him. Now it's 1.2 seconds, and of course, with the advantage that those medium tires are giving him, he should be catching them very quickly, and he will be within DRS range. But again, the big question is, what does he do when he catches them? Is he going to push hard, try to get around them, and try to just extend his lead to where he can hang on? Or is he just going to try to conserve his tires and wait? What would you do, Mel?
For MDJ, did you say? Sorry.
If you were Rudo, because surely Rudo knows that he is going to have a disadvantage on those medium tires, but he's also fast right now. So what's going through your mind? What do you do?
Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing until the tyres are just completely gone. You've got no choice. Because you just... when you're driving, Tim, you just don't know when you're going to get another safety car or get another lifeline to get an opportunity to make the move. And he needs to push. He needs to catch up to the top two, and quick. Because once them two pull away, that's it. They have gone. Matty Rudd says tyres should go 14 easily. I did say roughly about 11 to 13, but that's just if you've got like an okay-ish setup. Maybe less if you've got like an explosive setup. And I tell you what's going to be mad, to be fair. Daryl's getting close down to MDJ, coming to All Rouge. Come on, the Red Bull's got some wings now, Tim.
And there goes Daryl around MDJ side by side, but not for long. MDJ tucks back behind the Red Bull and back nose to tail, except Daryl in the lead now, but that has brought Rudo in contention, and guess what? Rudo has brought with him Ryan and Nitro Gash, or at least very close, 1.1 seconds behind Rudo. If Ryan can just get into that DRS zone, then he can fight with Rudo, he can fight with MDJ, he can fight with Daryl. So Ryan, maybe he has really just done a 2000 IQ play here, tried as much as he could to stick to the back of Rudo and help use that car to just drag him to the lead.
Absolutely. Rudo is getting close, though. He's getting close to MDJ. Joe Amsterdam moves up to 10th. Russman drops down to 11th. So here we go. Bruce Lee's getting close to Keza for 8th. The winner of the Monaco Grand Prix last week. And here we go. Rudo, come on. He needs to go all out and flat out, is what Smoke says. And that, I agree. He needs to make the move done. And he's getting close. He's getting close to MDJ. And I tell you what, they're coming to the bus stop chicane. You just don't know what move they're going to make. And they're coming to the bus stop chicane now. It looks like Cameron goes up ahead of Nigel Gash for 5th place.
Oh, contact! There was contact out of the final corner between Nitro Gash and Cameron.
What happened there, Tim?
I didn't see. I only saw the final bit of it, but it looked as though Cameron might have got just a little bit loose, made some contact. I don't see any wing damage on either of the cars. Oh, what's happened to Russman?
Russman is retired in the pits, Tim. Russman has retired in the pits. Must be frustrated and will be leaving the Belgian Grand Prix. Will not carry on. It looks like Rudo. Oh my God, he's going to go around the outside of MDJ, but he will have the inside line.
Contact, and MDJ almost goes off track.
He almost did, Tim, but look at Rudo. No, don't you dare do this to us. Don't you dare. No, I thought they was going to go for the move at the corner with no name. Manic stuff, Tim.
And I'm telling you, the more that Rudo fights here, the more he's using up those tires. But you've also got to take into consideration that Daryl is starting to pull away from MDJ, so maybe Rudo feels a sense of urgency to get around MDJ so that maybe he could try to fight with Daryl.
Yeah, absolutely, and hopefully that we'll see a few more shocks along the way, Tim. That's what they're hoping for. They're just hoping for another shock. Today he's dropped down. Today he's dropped himself down to 16th, and at the moment, 7 laps to go, Tim. Explosive stuff.
Let's see what Rudo does here. Is he going to be able to get by MDJ? Is he just going to ride behind him? They have closed the gap a little bit, and really that's the best thing that Rudo can be doing right now. He doesn't need to be fighting MDJ yet. Oh, and now we have got Ginger Tiger with a 3-second time penalty and a yellow flag. Is that virtual or a full safety car?
Safety car, Tim. Safety car. We
Well,
got our third safety car.
You got your soft tire shootout mount.
Thank God for that. Thank God for that.
This plays into Rudo's hands, though. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, Malk, but this plays into Rudo's hands fantastically, because I know I've been barking up this tree since we went back green, but those medium tires were not going to last and be competitive. He can make it to the end, but he wasn't going to make it to the end and be fighting for the lead. This puts him on a level playing field with everyone else.
You know what surprises me, Tim? Is if any of those top 9 who are still out have not got in yet for fresh tyres. Can you imagine they do not have that opportunity and they'll lose out? Smoke says no one else is going to pit. This is bad for Rudo. It is going to be bad for Rudo because Keza, Speed Cream, Mikey, Ginger Tiger, and today they've all got to gamble for the soft, so I don't blame them, to be fair, because they've got nothing to lose, really. They've got nothing to lose. And I think there was contact between JP and IRL. That's why we had the third safety car of the evening, Tim.
I don't know. I really don't think that you're going to see nobody except Rudo pit here, though. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not calling myself James Bowles or Toto Wolff or anybody like that. But I don't think that you're going to be seeing just everyone except Rudo stay out.
Yeah. We'll see what he's going to try and do. Wait and see. Matty says those mediums would have been fine. He's going to the pits. Daryl's going to the pits as well, Tim. But MDJ stayed out. MDJ and SFR Martin from the top 7 is Joe Amster staying out as well.
I think he is.
Joe Amster is also staying out as well. So this is a shock. And okay, here's a question for you, Tim. Do you think that these 3 have made the most weird decisions, or do you think they've made the genius ones of holding over those cards till the end?
I think that they made an educated decision, and in hindsight, it's going to be the wrong one.
The wrong one? You're going to go for the wrong one? I think, to be fair, Joe Harrison's already done 11 laps. I was surprised he didn't pit, actually. That's my surprise. But then when to be fair, MDJ is still out. I'll just read some of the comments. Smoke says Rudo just through podium way, maybe even the win. Fast Supper says this was wrong to pit from top. Matty Rudd says softs are so much faster than old hard. So with Darryl on the Red Bull and could be on for possibly another win. So he had the sprint and could be on for a classic feature ending. So, but with Rudo, needs to get a good start to try and stop him from pulling away like no man's business, Tim.
Now, it also depends on when we go back green. The sooner we go back green, obviously, the best that is for drivers like Daryl, like Rudo, like Ryan on those soft compound tires. And you know, it seems like a lot of people seem to be saying that the hard tires were the way to go here. I truly believe that these soft tire runners are going to have a huge advantage here, and I think that we're going to see a car with soft tires on the top spot of the podium. And I do not make predictions that bold, Malk, and if I am wrong, I will gladly admit so. But all the same, we're about to see what happens.
Oh, 5-second penalty for severe collision with Cameron from Nigergash. I don't know what happened between them two, but that's just an unfortunate accident. Fast Summer says 2 laps of DRS left. There will be 2 laps of DRS. Just wait to see when MDJ is going to go. He's going to have to get a good start. Okay, he's going now. He's going now, Tim. We're back live now.
And that is exactly the kind of start that he needed to really give himself the best chance of winning this race. 0.6 of a second over SFR Martin before they get to the line, and it's looking like he's just now pulling away from SFR Martin. Meanwhile, let's see how those soft tire runners are doing. Still no change in position yet, but Daryl, he is right on the back of Joe Hamster in that Alpine. Remember, Joe Hamster, the oldest tires in this field right now, 12 lap hard tires on that Alpine, and there goes Daryl right around Joe Hamster. Does Rudo follow suit? No. 2 car allocated teammates. Well, Joe Hamster's not going to let the same car by this time. Daryl, though, that's the best thing for him because he has got Joe Hamster between him and Rudo. But there goes Rudo between him, and it is a 3-wide situation, Mount, almost. And now Rudo gets into P4. Joe Hamster down to P5. Cameron Searle in the field. What's happened to Joe Hamster?
Contact between Ryan and Joe Hamster on just after the Kemmel straight. So they've had contact, and they're going down like a domino effect, Tim.
So now MDJ is 0.6 of a second ahead of Martin, who is, well, about 0.2 of a second ahead of Daryl, who is on your screen now. 0.3 of a second to correct myself there. And you can see Martin from Daryl's point of view. You can see MDJ from Daryl's point of view. That's the battle for the lead that you're watching ahead of him. But when will Daryl make the move? He has got the tire advantage. He doesn't have to be that hasty as long as he keeps a consistent pace with them.
I think he's trying to make the move, but SFR Martin, I'm not saying he's brake testing or anything, I'm not saying that at all, but I don't know whether he's just caught napping on Daryl to try and make the move when he needed the most, Tim.
I just think that MDJ got the best of Martin on that start. We saw him try it with Daryl and it didn't work, but it worked with Martin, and you know, it was very similar to what Daryl did to MDJ earlier on in this race. So, like I said, maybe MDJ was taking some notes here, but there goes Daryl trying to go around Martin. Remember, we are waiting for that DRS to be active. I don't believe it's active this time. It should be the next lap. So, Daryl is going to have to use raw pace once again to get by these 2 drivers.
Oh my God, Daryl, you've just made the move before that all rouge. What an unbelievable move. There was a gap, and Martin did not expect that at all. But Daryl, you beauty! What a move! And we might have a move for Rudo. Straight line speed galore, Tim.
Rudo up to P3, Daryl in second place. Now MDJ, 10 laps on those hard tires. He is a sitting duck. And guess what? DRS is going to be active next time, and that will be 2 laps to go. MDJ is going to have to make that Aston Martin as wide as the United States and the Atlantic Ocean, because quite frankly, that's the only way that he is going to be able to hold off Daryl, hold off Rudo, at least without one hell of a fight. It's a 3-car battle down to the wire. It's 3 laps to go, going to be 2 to go at the line.
Oh my God, Rudo, no, don't you dare make the move just yet. Wait to the DRS, sunshine. Ginger Tiger make the move on to Mikey for 9th. But here we go, it looks, oh my God, Mikey needs to hold on. Daryl is really, really eager now to make the move. He can't make a mistake now. He cannot make this mistake. Oh my God, we could have a 3 to bed. Come on, we want a 3 to bed moment now. Come on, oh, come on, Cameron made the move on to 4th. Oh my God, Tim, please, will there be a 3 to bed at this moment?
Well, we're about to find out, but MDJ still in command of this race, but the DRS should be active this time. There you go, the word from race control. So, Daryl, Rudo, Cameron, Martin, all these drivers, they're going to have DRS once they get to the top of the hill here.
They're going top of the hill section now. You got Daryl trying to put the pressure on Mikey, coming up to Eau Rouge now.
And
oh
DRS
my God.
comes into play now. There goes the rear wing, open on the Red Bull, open on the Alpine, and Daryl goes around MDJ, but MDJ using up every bit of his battery. It's side by side into the corner, almost some contact, still side by side. MDJ will not give up this position. He wants this win, but now Rudo, he's getting on the inside and contact. 3 wide for the lead. Oh, and now Daryl, he cuts MDJ off. There was brief contact. They hang on to it though. Or no, MDJ, he actually drops back. It's Cameron Searle that moves into P3 now. So it is Rudo, Daryl, and Cameron Searle, your top 3. In 4th place, it's SFR Martin, but he is 0.8 of a second back. But right now, it is a soft tire showdown for the win in Belgium. And it's Cameron Searle trying to get around Daryl, and Daryl shut the door on him. My goodness, before I could even finish a sentence. Still side by side, though, between the Aston Martin and the Red Bull. They are all chasing Rudo, and this is the best thing that he could see in his rear view mirror. Still side by side. They just will not give up. Almost beating, almost banging, but not quite. They're able to just stick it side by side together and hang on. But it's looking like Daryl has got just a slight advantage over Cameron. But just as I say that, the advantage switches to the Aston Martin. Now Daryl has to fall back in line behind the Aston Martin. They're coming to the final lap. Rudo is in command, 1.2 seconds ahead of Cameron Searle. Malk, that is not good. That means no DRS for Cameron.
No DRS for Cameron. Rudo, remember, he started off in 20th. He's in 1st place. Last to first in an RP race. We've never seen that for a very long time. Mikey going up to 9. She decided to drop down to 10. But Cameron Rudo, hold on though. Cameron Rudo, hold on. Cameron needs to push. Daryl's going to have to do something about this because Daryl had the chance to win this race.
Yeah, he really did. And unfortunately, it's looking like the best he's going to be able to do is P3, maybe squeeze into P2, but even the chances of that are dwindling as this race goes on. This is the last lap. You're looking at your leader right now of Rudo, but Cameron Searle and Daryl is quickly charging up from behind. The question is, though, will they be able to find an opportunity to make a pass on Rudo, or is this all that she wrote? They're not going to have the benefit of the DRS zone at the top of the hill anymore, Malk. This is the final lap. They're going to have to find it and find it now if they've got it. But you were saying Rudo going from last to first in a feature race, and he's just going to have to make a few more corners before he calls himself a winner. But Cameron Searle wants to change the narrative of that story just a little bit. He wants to be the one in command of this race. He wants to be the one that gets this win, and it's going to all come down to this. It's going to come down to the final corner now. Cameron Searle getting the slipstream off of Rudo, 0.4 of a second. Could it be down to 0.3, even 0.2 of a second when they get to the chicane? Cameron Searle, does he drive it in hard? Yes, he does, right to the back of Rudo. No contact, though. They keep it clean. Oh, there is some contact. A little bit of contact, but Cameron Searle, he backs out of it. Good sportsmanship as Rudo is able to take the checkered flag. Cameron Searle in 2nd and Daryl in 3rd.
SFR Martin is in 4th, MDJ in 5th. It looks like Bruce is in 6th, Speed Queen in 7th, Keza drops down to 8th after penalty. Tedeli in 9th, Mikey in 10th, Joe Hamster will finish off in 11th. Ginger Tiger had a bit of a crash just under the 3rd sector, so he will finish off in 12th. Nitric Ash, really unfortunate for him, he drops himself all the way down to 13th, and Ryan will finish off in 14th place, Tim.
Now, best finish I've ever seen. Period.
Tim, I agree. I absolutely, actually, this is one of the best moments since we had the 4 drivers for the championship. Do you remember quite a few seasons ago?
Oh, I do, but even this race, even this finish tops the finish of that race, and it just had the makings of everything beautiful. The beginning, you had split tire strategies, then you had a safety car that kind of put everyone on level playing field, but you still had the outlier of Rudo with the medium tires, and we're wondering, is he going to be competitive at the end? Then a late race safety car comes out, and you have the soft tire shootout with just a few drivers staying out on the hards, and it becomes a battle of old hards versus new softs. And then when the new softs prevail, it's still not over. You got 3 drivers battling it out for the win, and contact in the final corner, not a wreck, not a spin, not a dump, not a dive bomb, just a little bit of a rub, and Cameron Searle backed out of it, did not wreck Rudo. I want to be very clear on that. And It was first for Rudo, second for Cameron. It was just fantastic. It was like a storybook.
Do you want to carry on? Do you want to carry on with the story?
I do, but I have to read the results.
Go on then, mate. Let you do the race.
Oh my goodness! I'm too excited, Malk. I'm too excited. But all right, we actually have we have a problem, and I cannot. Okay, we have an issue, and I actually cannot read out the results. It will not let me look at that window.
Rudo in first, Cameron second, Daryl third, Martin fourth, MDJ fifth, Bruce sixth, Speakery seventh, Keza, Tadeli, Mikey, Joe, Ginger, Nitragash, Ryan, JP, ARL, Russman, Nathan, Spud, and Kerr. Oh my God, how did I do that?
Thank you, Malcolm. Thank you, Malcolm.
That was all 20 drivers, and I thought they were going to go at this point, but we're going to have the top 3 drivers just at the nick of time. We will have the top 3 drivers in to hear their thoughts of an absolute classic. I'm sure Cameron will be talking about that with that last-minute attempt, shall we say, at the bus stop chicane. But what a drive. What an unbelievable drive. I think, like I said, Darryl had the chance to win it, to be fair. Darryl had the chance to win it with that OP Red Bull car. But also, well done to Rudo. I mean, I can't remember the last time that a driver started off right at the back of the race in 20th, all the way to finish first. That is some doing. That is absolute some doing. And fair play to him. I'm just waiting for... Matty says best drive of the season. Yeah, absolutely, best drive of the season, to be fair. We're just waiting for Rudo, and then we'll start off. But if you liked that race, and you enjoyed it so much, make sure you like and subscribe to the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel for all the live race itself. We're aiming for at least 10 likes tonight, guys. We're aiming for at least 10 likes. Will be a massive help, and I'll say again, it will be a massive help to myself, Malcolm, and Tim in the commentators box, as well as the Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel. What a race. What an epic ending of this Belgian Grand Prix. I don't know if Rudo can join in. If he can, just as I say that, before you say anything, please allow a voice to be shared. Make sure you got that set up. If not, do that now as quickly as possible. And once everyone's all ready, Tim will start the questions. So guys, are you all set, ready to go?
Yeah, all good.
I was going to say, that was a great chat there, to be fair. But yeah, we're about to start, and I'll let Tim do the questions for these guys.
All right, and we will start with Rudo, our winner. And Rudo, I have about a 10-part question and a sticky note for you, but I'm going to shorten it down to 2. First and foremost, what was going through your mind after, I believe it was the second safety car, when you are on the medium tires, knowing that you're at a bit of a disadvantage to everyone around you on the hards?
I didn't want it to come out, obviously. I was quite happy on the mediums, but then I think it came out as we were going down the start-finish straight, so I saw everybody behind boxing for softs. So it was a no-brainer to then pit, as long as they had the delta, which luckily they did. So yeah, I had to pit. I didn't want it, but considering I was 20th on lap 1, I would have taken being third or 4th at the start of lap 20 on softs.
So when that final safety car came out, was that, just a bit of a saving grace for you, like the heavens opened up and you had a bit of a chance at that point, assuming that at least a lot of more people followed your example and pitted?
I didn't want it to come out.
That safety car. I apologize.
Yeah, so the safety car where everyone moved on to softs, I didn't want to come out. The first one was right on the line, so I think we ended up doing 2 or 3 laps under safety car, which meant the mediums would have got to the end okay. So yeah, it was a good race. I enjoyed it. Obviously helped by whatever happened on lap 1. All I saw was bits of car everywhere, and I just went from 20th to 13th, I think. So that obviously helped. But yeah, it was a good race.
And so are you saying that you thought that the mediums would have been competitive at the end if the last safety car hadn't have came out?
Yeah, I was comfortable on them to do 11 laps on them. So
wow. Well, now I kind of wish the safety car hadn't came out. I have to admit I was sort of betting against you there, but now I wish that the safety car hadn't came out. All the same, congratulations, Rudo, because medium tires or soft tires, you made it work.
Thank you.
And now we'll go to Cameron Searle, P2 for you, and it was oh so close to a win. One more lap, maybe you would have had him. But it was 22 laps, not 23. All the same, it's a podium finish for you. How are you feeling?
Well, first, I hope you can hear me. Yeah. I'd like to start. I apologise to Rudo for that tap in the final corner. But...
That's all good, mate. It's all fine. No, do you know what? I sort of knew it was coming because I had to sort of make sure I got the run out. But yeah, luckily nothing. I know it wasn't deliberate, so that's all good from my point of view.
Yeah, no, I think with one more lap it would have been close, but it was more. I think I spent a bit too long trying to get through the pack after that safety car, as opposed to actually chasing Rudo. But yeah, my race. I think I went from the front to the back about 3 or 4 times that race. So.
Well, Cameron, where I come from, a little bit of a bump, that's nothing to worry about as long as no one gets shoved into the wall. So that was nice and entertaining, but I got to ask you, I guess, since Rudo didn't want that final safety car, how were you feeling about it?
I mean, I was good either way. I think it was a fairly straight fight. I mean, I think we were all on hards at one point with maybe 1 or 2 medium runners. Yes, I think it was a straight fight either way. It's just a shame MTJ and the other front runners didn't box because they were sort of sitting ducks towards the end there.
Well, all the same, congratulations to you. It's a good run.
Thank you.
And now we'll talk to Daryl P3 and another driver that I just have to say, oh so close to the win, but oh so far. But it was really anyone's race there in the closing lap. So tell us about how you navigated it and what happened to put you from first down to third.
Yeah, first of all, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was a good race. Me and MDJ, I think, were at the front pretty much the whole time, and a couple of times switched positions. Then when the safety car came out, I was on the hard. I didn't know whether to go to soft because I knew it was only going to be like 4 laps to go. But obviously leading it, you've got to make that decision. So I decided to go for it, and I saw MDJ stay out, and I thought, oh, I might have messed up here. So, but yeah, managed to obviously get back up there, and I don't know what happened at the end there between I think me, Rudd, and MDJ. I think all 3 of us were going 3 wide into one corner, and it was never going to end well. So I don't really know what happened there, but it was a bit of a shame in the end because 1, MDJ dropped back, and 2, I then just lost a bit of rhythm and started losing a few positions as well. So it was a bit of a shame, but I can't complain at the minute.
So it's P3. How are you feeling about the championship overall?
Well, it's just nice to finish a race for once. It's been a while since I've done that, so that's a positive.
But, okay, very blunt.
Yeah, but to be fair, when I saw kind of Rudo and Cameron coming in, and MDJ, I'm in the Red Bull, and these guys are just flying, so it's difficult as it is. So yeah, I'm not really even thinking about championship at the minute. It's just finishing the races and with good points and kind of see what happens. But yeah, I'm not really thinking about probably anywhere near the top 5 at the minute.
Even still, I mean, it's a good run by you, and you did well, and you never know what'll happen in the standings. So just keep your chin up. I didn't. I feel bad now. You're just like, man, I'm just happy to finish a race.
Yes, but it's not like it's been about 5 DNFs in a row.
How dare you, Tim? How dare you for Daryl?
There was no whiffing at all, so that's the positive.
I know. Unbelievable stuff. Madness,
right,
to be
but
fair.
All the same, that's all the time that we have, but this has been the Invictus Racing League's Realistic Performance League, brought to you in partnership with GridFinder.com. Thank you to everyone who watched. Thank you to all the drivers that raced with us, and congratulations to the top 3 finishers. And until next time, have fun, and goodbye.
Chill out.